Hey guys, William Murphy here, and it is once again extremely early and bloody cold. There is frost everywhere this morning, but the garage hopefully will warm up once I start working. So yesterday we had another parcel, this time from Smithy Bits. If you haven't heard of Smithy Bits, they make chromed plated parts for your Mini. I'm not endorsed by these at all, but I just love the stuff they make. It's really top quality and it looks fantastic. And actually this was cheaper to buy a chromed part than it was to buy a standard part. Madness. So hopefully that's the final piece of the puzzle here. So what I'll do first of all is remove this radiator and show you the bracket that's had fitted to the bottom of the radiator anyway. And hopefully it's going to stop the fouling issue we have with the fan hitting this radiator. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so if you're familiar with the Mini setup, obviously here is your standard radiator. Now this one here has this rather unique bracket on the bottom. It's held on by one bolt over here. That bolted straight to the subframe mount. What it meant was that the fan caught in the inside of the cowling. So what I'm going to do is fit a standard bracket to the mount, which hopefully going to raise it up and push it away from the fan slightly. And all I'm hoping is it clears the bulge in the bonnet where the radiator is supposed to sit. I think it will. But only time will tell really. So we'll remove the outer cowling, remove this bracket, fit the new bracket to the mount, fit the radiator down, fit the bolt in, check the fitment of it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that's going to work. So I'll bring you a little bit closer, and hopefully you can see. It's too cold, I've given in and put a heater on for the time, just try and take the chill off slightly until I get warmed up. Okay, I've got a 3-inch spanner here and I'm going to remove the cowling bolts. This top one here is rounded off, so hopefully I can get it off without taking that off. That's now the cowling back on. This one here was missing a bolt, that's not the end of the world. One here is rounded off, and then the 2 bolts here. This bracket here houses the washer bottle. So what I'm going to do is compare the new bracket to the old bracket. For the height, you can see that actually the height difference is the same, so which is fantastic. So I'm going to fit this up now. Okay, so in the pack you've got your bolt, your flat washer and your spring washer. So we'll go spring washer first, flat washer, and the same for this side, spring then flat. I'm going to put the bracket down here. Okay, so this bolt here, which is the bolt that's further to the rear of the car, the thread is really tight, so what we're going to do is get my tap and die kit and recut this thread just to make sure it's nice and clean and fresh. So with this hole now retapped, I take my bolt, I'm just going to fit it back in. Screwing by hand a lot easier now. It's going in a treat with the ratchet. One bolt, 2 bolts of the radiator mount done. Let's get the radiator now. On the bottom of the radiators, they've got this little bracket here. Now that is already in place to get the bolt straight through. Just fitting the radiator into the mount. As I push the radiator towards the engine, the fan now goes inside that cowling really nicely. So hopefully this is the fix we are after. Now, it's a bit tricky with this car because typically on a Mini you can remove the grille and see the hole you're going to go into, and this you can't see anything. This all has to be done by feel. Bolt through. Okay, so as silly as this may sound, the radiator is now fitted up, and I'm going to take it back out to fit the bottom hose back on. The reason for that is that I test fitted it without the hose on because the hose sometimes has a bit of resistance against the back of the subframe. Without the hose attached, it's a lot easier to do. So I'll take the bolt back out, and I'll attach the hose, put it all back together, fill the radiator, fit the thermostat housing, and then we are complete. Okay, so this is a great job if you really don't like your forearms, because mine are getting absolutely battered. Scratched on top of here, scratched on here, there's bolts down here as well sticking out. So on a typical Mini, round nose or Clubman, this would be so much easier. I'm just trying to get the bottom bolt in. I've got a socket on an extension, trying to wind it in, and hopefully that's gonna be done quickly because it's starting to hurt a little bit now. Very quickly realising why that bracket was fitted. You can get access just about to the suspension mount, but there's no way I can get any access to that bolt from underneath. I tried coming through the front of the grille down here in this little cutout they've got for air circulation. Hopefully be able to line it up and be able to push that bolt through. Fan is spinning, there's no rubbing or anything, which is fantastic. The fan is on there pretty tight as well. You can probably just nip that up ever so slightly. But we are cooking on gas, that is for sure. Cooking on gas. Okay, so when the car came to me, it had a really battered up, chewed up hose from the breather of the crank, or the rocker shaft breather, all the way that goes across to the carburetor. Now the pipe was split, it was bent, it was twisted, it was covered in oil, and basically it was going across the exhaust as well, which wasn't great because it was getting quite hot and sort of melting in places. So I've been given a length of hose. So the job I need to do is to run the pipe from A to B, but not going across the exhaust. So that's the next job I'm going to do. I have to come back to that. So the pipe is on. I just want to heat the end up here so I can get it over the end of the breather. I've run it underneath the air filter hose and around the back, so it's actually quite a neat looking job. So once that's all connected up, I think it will look really, really good. I can't fit the hose because I can't find the lighter. I can't fill the radiator because I can't find a bottle, and it's still very early, so I don't want to go crashing and banging through the house. So I'm going to go to job number 3, is just fitting the exhaust up. I haven't got the clamps yet, but I know I need a 53mm clamp for the front and the rear. The middle section I've welded a tab on, so I need to just line that up, and then once it's fitted I can weld a tab to the floor. So yeah, that's the job we're going to do now. I'm not going to film it because I can't get underneath the car with the camera, but basically exhaust pipe, exhaust hole, done. I now have a container. I've had a bit of a tidy up of the car itself. I've fitted the back panel back onto the car as well. It's held on by 2 bolts. Okay, so everything's fitted up. I'm just going to put some water into the radiator. Firstly, to check that there's no leaks. If there's any leaks, it should hopefully drip straight away. And because I'm only putting water in it for now, we're not going to lose all our expensive antifreeze. I've cleaned everything up. Everything is tight. Well, no drips. I've disconnected the coil. I'm going to turn the engine over, just crank it a little bit. The engine should rotate, pour the water through, and when it's a suitable time we can fire it up and hopefully get a good temperature. So just by doing that little crank, hopefully the water pump would have been able to sort of pump some of the water this part to this part of the engine. The level has dropped. It's not going to completely circulate because I need to get the thermostat hot enough to be able to allow that water to circulate all the way around. What we'll need to do is connect everything back up, get the car running, and when it's running we can squeeze the pipes to get all the air out of the system. You'll feel the top pipe and the bottom pipe getting nice and hot as well. That's when you know that obviously things are working properly. You can tend to be able to sort of feel it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, and then it'll get quite hot. So that's normally... Whew. Oh god, that scared me. That's my alarm to wake up anyway. I'm not going to fire it up just yet, but I will fire it up later on. Leave that coolant there to settle for a little while. I'm going to go out at lunch to collect some exhaust clamps. I will come back and fit them so the exhaust will be done. This is draining nicely into the system, not onto the floor, which is fantastic. Yeah, I'm so happy, so happy. I love it when a job comes together. The final pieces of any puzzle are always the most satisfying, and we are definitely at the satisfying point right now. That's it for me for the time being. I have a few more jobs to do. I need to fit the exhaust clamps up. I need to run the engine up to temperature. I need to adjust the clutch and then fit that pipe onto the breather. All real minor things which shouldn't take too long, but I need to go in the house now, get some breakfast, help the little one get ready for nursery, sort the wife's lunch out for the day, and get myself ready for work as well. So happy with how we're getting on. So happy. As always, if you have enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up and comment below. If you want to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content, you can click on my face up here, and you can also click down here for any other videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.